This is Family Food Savings, and these are the 5 reasons you should think twice before doing your grocery shopping online. Don't go away. So, you're sitting here at your laptop or scrolling on your phone one day and you think, I know, I'll give it a go. I'm a bit tied up this week. I'm going to go ahead and get my weekly groceries delivered. It'll save me a bunch of time and I won't have to go to the store. All makes perfect sense, right? Your friends down the road swear by it, and everyone seems to be talking about it these days. Now, if you're in the top 1%, or you've just had a lottery win, or maybe you've got a personal chef, don't watch the rest of this video, okay? Just do your online shop and enjoy your day. But for everyone else, there's a few things that you should be considering. And the first one is some really important context around what's going on in grocery online delivery. And I'm talking specifically about delivery here, not the stuff where you click and collect and go and pick it up in store. Now, despite the fact it's been possible around the world to do online grocery shopping for about 25 years, believe it or not, most food retailers very often don't make any money on your order. And that's because picking stuff off the shelf, putting it in bags, onto the back of a little truck, and then delivering it to your place is very expensive. In fact, there's a report that came out in 2022 that calculated for a regular store visit where you spend $100, the retailer makes $4, okay? Well, when you spend that same $100 with them online, the retailer ends up losing $13. Now, on the one hand, you might well say, that is their problem, not mine. And to some extent, you'd be right. Were it not for the fact that food retailers are all in on this, given the millions they've invested so far. So they have to make this work, economically speaking, and that means making it more expensive still for the likes of you and me in the future. Anyway, that's the backdrop to this world of online groceries that you're stepping into in front of your laptop or your smartphone. It doesn't actually make a lot of sense for retailers in the first place. Now, what we're interested in is how we can save money on food for our family. So here's the number one issue that you're going to face when you start online grocery shopping. And that is, folks, the cost of delivery or subscription fees. Once upon a long time ago, it was all free and that was great. Until grocery stores realized that the more people did online shopping, the more they were going to be out of pocket. So they started charging for deliveries and, well, that's not an unreasonable thing to do if you think about it, but that cost to you could quickly mount up. Walmart, for example, charges $8 a delivery. And on an average family spend of $200, that's a 4% premium. And that's on top of the 6% rise in fruit prices that's happened in just the last year or so. So all in all, that's not sustainable. But wait, I hear you say, that's the cost of a one-off delivery, and I don't pay that because I'm a member. Well, great. So let's look at that for a moment. Now, Walmart Plus, again, currently offering a free 30-day trial on its membership plans, which takes delivery fees down to 0 and offers you a bunch of other stuff like Paramount Plus and free tire repair and so on and so on. But it will cost you $12.95 a month once the trial's over, and there's a minimum spend per order of $35. So just to be very clear, if you're committed to getting all your groceries from the one store, doing all your big shops, no top-ups at all, then conceivably this could be a good option for you. But since relatively few people these days want to be tied to one retailer and only do big shopping missions, that's going to apply to, well, a relatively small number of families. Alternatively, it's possible you live a considerable distance from your nearest decent-sized grocery store, and for you too, there might be a good rationale for online grocery shopping as a result of that. On balance, however, I suggest being organised, getting to know your local stores, so when you visit them, you can do it efficiently and let others pay to help retailers turn a profit. Now, the second false economy you're going to experience with online food shopping is less to do with economics, actually, and more to do with quality. Simply put, no one cares more than you do about which products you want to take home to your family. And so when you're trusting someone else to make those decisions, you're not the one in control of what goes in the basket. You know just how ripe you want those avocados. You know how yellow you want your bananas. And you know that if you dig around to the back of the shelf, you might find that pack of chicken thighs with 2 or 3 extra days of life on it. I've bought groceries online in Australia and in the UK, and almost without fail, I've received products that in no way would I have picked out. So the odds are you're more likely to waste money because you have to throw stuff in the bin and then face the aggravation of having to go back to store to buy a replacement product. So much better option. Get yourself into store, pick exactly what you want that works for you, and avoid all of that hassle and all of that disappointment. The next problem that's quite common is also related to quality and quality control. And again, it's one that I've experienced both here and in other countries. And that is produce, especially meat and poultry, going off sooner than you expect it to. So this is not about being sent short shelf life products. This refers to products that are in life. Perhaps it says on the pack that it doesn't expire for another 4 or 5 days, but you'll open it within that time frame and find that it's going off. Now, in the food supply chain, there are certain golden rules that should be adhered to in order to keep stuff fresh. And one of these is the 20-minute rule. Very simply, this states chilled and frozen foods should not be out of refrigeration for any more than 20 minutes. Now, when I was buying meat and poultry for a retailer in the UK years and years ago, everyone knew very well 20 minutes out of refrigeration equated to a day less of life for that product. So once again, the bottom line issue with online groceries is that you really have no idea if that rule has been stuck to. But there is, at the very least, a greater chance that your chilled and frozen food have been left out for longer than 20 minutes in the course of being picked off the shelf by someone, along with a few other orders, taken out the back to be loaded on a little van, and then eventually brought to your door. I've had to throw away a whole tray of chicken once because of this problem. That's 10 to 11 bucks straight in the bin. More waste, more cost, that you can certainly reduce the risk of by picking your own groceries and getting them to your fridge or your freezer as fast as you possibly can. Okay, let's talk about substitutions and unavailable items. Perhaps the number one reason for you to consider buying your food online is convenience, right? You want everything brought to your door and you don't want the hassle of having to fit that trip to the store in yourself. So when that order does turn up and it's missing something that you wanted, that convenience just goes up in a puff of smoke. A lot of retailers nowadays will give you the option when you're placing the order to decide if you want substitutions, if something happens to be out of stock. So you can go ahead and say you don't want anything else random turning up in place of the item you picked. But either way, you're left in a very similar position. And your options are put up with it or go, okay, I'm going to make a trip to the store anyway. And obviously that's going to defeat the purpose of online shopping in the first place. So the way around this is to write yourself a decent shopping list to make sure you don't forget things that are important to you. Get yourself down the store and make sure that is your one big shopping trip for the week, which incidentally is going to reduce your chances of overspending on food too, because the more unplanned trips to the store that you make generally means the more chance of unplanned purchases. And that brings us to the final reason that you should really think twice when it comes to online groceries. And that is becoming disconnected from your food and how much things really cost. You may well view this quite differently if you're busy and the grocery store seems kind of uninviting. But believe me when I say engaging with the food you're buying, seeing, touching, smelling, choosing what goes in your cart is extremely important because food is important, right? When you turn this into a purely functional process, tapping buttons and keys and hitting the screen, you strip away that sensory experience and connection. This in turn will lead to less mindful eating and cooking, making food shopping feel like more of a chore rather than an enjoyable part of your weekly routine. And all you have to do is tap a screen or click a mouse. You'll soon find yourself losing touch with how much things cost and whether or not you're getting the best value for money. Instead, flip the whole thing around, as I suggested in one of my earlier videos, and learn the language of shopping so that you can embrace it, get on better with it, and start saving more money. So, wrapping it all up then, online grocery shopping might seem convenient, but it comes with extra costs, quality control issues, freshness issues, and that might mean that at the end of it all, it really isn't that convenient, especially if you factor in the hassle of substitutions and missing items. If you're serious about saving money and getting the best quality for your family, stick to in-store shopping and being mindful about your purchases. Now, if you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up, comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more money-saving tips. See you in the next video.